So, what my childhood trauma has, the way that it has affected me as an adult is in having self-sabotaging behavior, being very paranoid about people and their intentions, definitely experiencing major depression and anxiety, definitely anxiety, being in a constant state of overthinking, like just thinking about possibilities that wouldn't even exist normally if I hadn't gone through the things that I had gone through in the past. And so I know that a lot of people can relate to being in that state of overthinking, of feeling like somebody's trying to hurt you, or feeling like somebody's out to get you, feeling like someone's talking about you and they're not, asking questions and then answering your own questions. Like, it's I've recycled that thought process from my childhood of never expressing myself to anybody. As a child, I used to have this journal. It wasn't a journal, but it was a notebook, and I would write in it. And I remember one day writing in there that I wish I was never born. And my aunt had came in my room and read my notebook, and she tore that page out of the notebook and posted it on the refrigerator for everybody to see. Whenever they came in the house, she was like, look what she wrote. And people thought that it was funny. And that was like the one of the starts to like that ultimate somebody betraying me, somebody making fun of how I felt on that, and instead of actually addressing the issue, which is, why is Martina feeling like this? Why does she feel like she doesn't deserve to be here, or why does she feel like her life is not worthy? And so I didn't get those questions. I was just faced with people laughing at me because of that. And that's one thing that put me in that space where I didn't trust anybody. So if I had an issue with anything, I was working out those issues not working out those issues within myself, but I was talking about those issues with myself. And the issue is that if you're not saying anything positive to yourself, then you're going to believe every negative that you could come up with in your mind. You don't have anybody to counteract that with. And so a part of my silence carried on to like my womanhood. I got my menstrual period early in life. I had to be like 10. I had to be like 10 or 11. I know that I was really young when I got my first period. And I've actually wrote about this on my blog, on my Google blog. I'm not sure if it's still active or not, but this is something that I wrote about on my Google blog, coming on my period and being afraid to tell someone because, one, I had no idea what was going on with my body. Having blood in my panties was like not a normal thing. Even when I first started getting pubes, I think I remember. It's not funny, but I remember cutting them off because I didn't think that hair was supposed to grow there. And I tell that story because that was a part of, like, that was a part of my silence. Like, that was a part of me. I didn't learn about myself from a trusted adult. Like, I didn't learn about myself from my grandma. My mom wasn't there. My aunts didn't teach me. I can't really remember who showed me how to use a pad, but I didn't know anything about my body. And so a part of what I went through as a child, going into my teen years and not being taught about my body and not being taught self-love, and being a teenager going through major depression and not knowing how to process exactly what I was going through, then sex comes into play. And when sex comes into play in that way, I had sex when I was in high school, but not when I was accused of having sex. Like, I was accused of having sex at 13 years old, and there was honestly no reason or no signs for me to be accused of that. But I think with my grandmother being from the generation that she was from, that was like a normal thing. And so I had sex for a lot of years without enjoying it. Like, my reason for having sex was because the person that I was with wanted to. And that's something that's hard for me to admit now, and it's really hard to understand, like, how a person could continuously put themselves in that situation over and over again, and it be something that they not enjoy. And so a lot of people would look at a girl like that as promiscuous, and not that I wasn't having sex with a lot of people, not that, but people would label that because of my age, when in all actuality, sex, I was just having sex because the person I was with wanted to have sex, and I wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't something that I wanted to actually do. But I did it anyway, and that's something that I don't want my own child and my future children to have to go through, is to have to learn about their bodies, their minds, their emotions, process those things on their own. And so fast forwarding into adulthood, I really didn't start, like, being okay with my body until like 2 years ago. I really didn't start enjoying sex until like a couple of years ago. And I know that that's hard for people to hear and to understand, but we put ourselves in a lot of situations that we don't want to be in. And I grew up saying yes to a lot of things that I wanted to say no to. And so just understanding that about me, I still struggle with going against myself. I still struggle with knowing that something doesn't feel right, but still going through with it. I still struggle with being attracted to people that aren't necessarily good for me. And so I want people to understand that it's a lot of things that come from learned experiences and that come from trauma. And if you're allowing your child to overcome these things on their own, then they're going to grow up to have they're going to grow into adults that have a lot of baggage and that have a lot of trauma like I do. And so now I've been in therapy for the past year, since last August. And so now I have to manage those symptoms. Like I have to manage the way that I process things. And I do good for the most part. Like I do okay most of the time. But there are times that I'm not doing okay. And if you're not an understanding person, then you're going to be like, okay, I don't know how to deal with this, so I'm just going to push her away, and that's going to be that. And so a big way on how I manage now is by honestly communicating and saying exactly what's going on in my mind. Even though it all may sound crazy, I say exactly what's going on in my mind so that that person will know. And I'll say I'm probably overthinking. Like I'll say I'm probably overthinking this, but this is how I'm feeling. And in those situations, I do look for reassurance. Like I look for just that person is gonna be like, chill, chill. It's okay. What you're saying is not accurate, but it's okay. And so, but I don't expect everybody to respond that way. And I know that everybody's not going to respond that way. But I also know that being around people that really care about me and that really love me, they learn how to respond to me. And so I don't shun anybody in the beginning if they're just getting to know me or whatever. But I appreciate the people that take the time out to actually understand me and help me through those difficult moments. Because right now, lately, I've been a little bit on edge. And so I didn't just want to get on here and share with y'all, like, when I'm in like a happy-go-lucky mood or whatever. I want to be real with y'all and to help you and to say, I'm not okay right now, but I'm dealing with it. Like I'm managing, and I haven't seen my therapist in 2 weeks, and it'll be another 2 weeks before I see her again because some other things is going on. And so I hope that somebody watches this video and doesn't think that I'm rambling, because I kind of feel like I'm rambling, but I hope that somebody can relate. And I hope that if you can relate, that you decide to choose therapy. And if you need any affordable therapy or even free therapy, hit me up, and I'll see what I can do. I'll let you know places that I can refer you to, because I know everybody is not from the Jackson area, because I do know I can refer you to places in the Jackson area. I say that. But outside of the Jackson, Mississippi area, I would have to do some more research for you. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I know that it's long, but I believe it's worth watching. So I will talk to you guys another time.